Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. My name is Mason, and if this is your first time here, welcome. So I do a little spread here every month. Well, actually more than just every month. I'll explain a little bit. I do a monthly, which is what I'm going to do now. Try to do a mid-month, and if things are going really good as far as my schedule goes, I'll do a bonus reading on top of that. Usually comes out kind of the end of the month. Right now I've been kind of bogged down with just things to do, so I think I'm just going to get to the monthly again in the mid-month. This is for June 2022. In case you're in the future watching this, it's always kind of cool to think of that. Somebody in the future watching a video of mine. And we're going to do it for the sign of Gemini. And if you're returning because you're one of my subscribers, thank you very much for coming back. I have had a cold this week. Pretty bad one. Not COVID, just a cold. I did have a couple tests. Came back negative, so my voice is a little froggy, but I tried to do some readings earlier today, and I don't know, I didn't think it went so well, but I am going to release that video. It was for another sign, obviously Gemini. But I'm feeling better now, so I think this will feel better for me anyway. I'm sure nobody will even notice. So I'm going to lay out some cards here looking at a situation, as I mentioned. And then we're going to deal some cards that tell me a little bit about the trouble you're having in that situation or complications. And then the cards of advice, because the rest of it is kind of meaningless unless you have some kind of advice going forward. Okay, let's get started. See what's going on with Gemini. Three of Diamonds. Jack of Diamonds. Two of Spades. Okay, so you had some kind of completion in a partnership here. So through Three of Diamonds, it could also talk about finances, but usually it's not necessarily negative, but there needs to be some kind of communication around finances. Like there's some confusion. Take that how it fits, if it does fit you. The Jack of Diamonds energy is really interesting that it came out, because again, diamonds tend to be kind of like the pentacles in the traditional tarot, right? So you got some kind of message about finances. That could very possibly where this confusion or the need for clarification needs to come in. Okay? Or this could represent actually a younger energy, like a younger person, somebody who's younger than you, somebody who's less mature, has less experience. But both of these cards actually talk about there being some kind of confusion. And on the flip side of that, obviously there needs to be some clarification to remedy that. The Two of Spades. This is concerning because this is actually indication of division or disharmony in a partnership of some sort, some kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be like a family relationship. And I think this just involves, it could involve three people, because we did have the three come out, but this is talking about just something between you and somebody else. A very long-standing connection of some sort. Probably has something to do with this money matter. So we're going to draw some more cards to clarify. And I apologize in advance if I'm sniffling. I just can't help that right now. I'll try to keep it at a minimum. Oh, here's the tea. That actually helps my throat. Okay, the Ten of Spades came out, if you didn't see that. This is almost as dire or as impactful is probably the better word, as a Tower card. It's a major cycle that ended. However, you're in a state of loss, okay? You could even be mourning something, like, I don't know, end of a relationship, maybe a loss of a job. It wasn't good circumstances, this ending. And it might have been very unexpected and kind of came out of the blue. One of those type of things. What else can you tell me about what Gemini's going through? Wow, we got the 3 again. Could again involve a third person, even though it's impacting some kind of relationship you're having between you and someone else. This is the card of indecision. And somebody in this triangle. This can be the love triangle card. I'm not picking that up, that it's relevant here, that that's what it is. I just see it as another player. Another person is involved who's making it more complicated, adding more drama. You know, fill in the blanks with that. But again, you have the card of kind of things not being settled. There's indecision. And we have the 2 cards of confusion around finances or money matters or some kind of abundance. Doesn't have to be money per se, but some kind of abundance. And we have the 2 of Hearts. Well, this is the desire for you to reconnect with somebody if you don't have it already. It could be with this 2 of Spades over here. That's in the mix here, Gemini, that you have this strong desire to be close to somebody. It's a very strong relationship, whatever it is. Probably this third party who's involved came between you 2, and you have a desire to be closer, I guess, to one than the other. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's 3 people involved, you're one of them, and there's 2 others. One of them is more important to you than the other, let's just put it that way. As far as, like, maintaining intimacy or maintaining closeness. Could be emotional closeness. Not necessarily romantic, again. I'm going to ask for one more card. I'm not really seeing a clear picture of what happened here, but we're kind of seeing the after effects, I feel like. We have the 4 of Clubs. Interesting, this came out. This is about stability and having kind of peace of mind about something. It's also about, can talk about business decisions, which would make sense with finances, that there's some kind of business or work, or just the matter of finances kind of brings out that side in people, like it's all business, right? You want to leave your heartstrings out of it. Perhaps you're content with the decision that was made, but this person over here isn't. And you have desire to repair that. There was some kind of major ending, though. Some kind of loss. I mean, this tennis, I'm fixating on this 10 of Spades. We can't forget that there was some kind of loss. Something that you perceived as a loss. That could be here. Whoa. The 2 of Spades could be that loss. That division. I mean, it's possible that somebody did literally pass away. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and look at more of the complications involved. Maybe that will reveal more. Oh, see, a major cycle ended, and it has to do with the finances. So, definitely are revolving around money. And here is your Tower card. Ace of Spades. We'll talk about that in a second. And the 5 of Spades. Five of Spades, we'll start with that. Some major changes needed to happen. They were long overdue. This is the card uh, of disruption in routine, disruption in lifestyle. Honestly, there was some kind of breakup. I think that's what this major loss was. I think this just occurred to me. You might have broke up with somebody, but you still want to be close to them in some sense. Like maintaining a close friendship, if it was romantic. That would actually make more sense in this scenario because there's a third person and we have the hearts here. This is about somebody meeting somebody else and them having a heart connection to them. That's very possible that I do think that's impossible. If a person has enough depth to them, they can fall in love with somebody else and still feel attached to the person that they're leaving behind. I don't think that's off the table. I think that could happen in a very convoluted but mature way to mature people that are going through obviously a very tough life lesson. But maybe in the process, this is where the money. So if you're splitting it with somebody, you need to divide property, money, that kind of thing. But you have this feeling of contentment on top of it. So Gemini, I think you might have left one relationship, and on some level you're content with it, on the other level you're mourning it. Very dualistic, but very Gemini-like, because Gemini has that two sides. That would break most people in half. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the complications again. This is the breakup card. Complete disruption in the way you were living. And it was unexpected, like I suspected earlier. And it brought about a tower moment. No kidding. Not saying you caused a tower moment, but a tower moment happened for somebody. Tower moments aren't to be feared, of course, because they also represent new beginnings, especially when you're using playing cards like I do. The aces are new beginnings, fresh start. And I think I've heard some really good tarot card readers talk about tower moments being the tower falls and what you have left is a foundation. So you have something to build on. And that happens naturally in nature anyway. Like when there's these big horrible wildfires, which I do not like wildfires. They scare the crap out of me and I think they're very destructive and we're having more and more of them. But at the same time, I was visiting a meadow recently where there was one last year. And there's these beautiful wild flowers coming up that probably didn't come up before. This is in the burned area that you can tell it was burned. There's a rejuvenation of the earth. And these seeds that might have been laying dormant for years, they now have the chance to grow because all of this stuff got cleared out because of this fire. And so we have new beginnings. Ten of diamonds, almost said spades. Nope, 10 of diamonds. This is the prosperity card. So somebody obviously profited majorly from what happened here. Could have been you. I don't know, maybe you were dealing with a breakup and the person was basically saying, you want to leave, okay, here, take everything. And you're like, no, I want to be fair about it. But they insisted, and you ended up with a house, a car, a bank account that you weren't expecting. Again, I think this was a very tumultuous situation, but I think it involved a lot of maturity on a lot of levels. You're dealing with some very tough changes here. Wow. Okay, I'm going to get some more cards on that, Gemini. Nine of Diamonds, crap. Another completion, another diamond. I don't see how that could be a coincidence. I shuffle these cards. Popping out here. Again, this is your prosperity card and this is your stimulus check card. This is a lot of money going out. To pay off a debt, to make a repair, to make a purchase. I can't imagine this would be a happy thing for you if you're on the end of this and you're having to pay all the money out. I feel like you're receiving it. And so you're able to put yourself in a better position because of this breakup. There's definitely a breakup here. And a shifting around of finances. Again, another new beginning and another diamond. This is your ace. And this is about rejuvenation, probably in the area of finances. It doesn't seem relevant here, which is why I paused, because it's also the card of new business ventures. I mean, if that fits you, maybe this is allowing you to build a business or open a business that you've always wanted to, because now you have the stimulus check. That's the large amount of money. It came out on top of that. It's very bittersweet. But I don't see any heavy cards here, except for these two. The breakup and this two of spades. You want to restore that closeness with somebody. I haven't forgotten about that. So, see what your cards of advice are. Queen of Hearts. Oh, I might see where this is going. Eight of Spades. Knight of Spades. My goodness. Okay. So the Queen of Hearts. The reason I kind of thought is going down this particular path. This queen, she's very nurturing. She's a mother figure. She has good, positive female energy. If you're not a female, it doesn't mean you have to be a female, but embodying that kind of energy, that softness, that femininity, is probably your advice to take on that role, as far as instead of being like an authoritarian. It clearly feels like you have the upper hand. So that would make sense that you need to take on this more nurturing role. That fits. Like the more nurturing aspect of this. Still kind of a power figure, but not as domineering. You get me? You're definitely moving on. The eights are about moving on and advancement and kind of going down the path to completion, honestly, which is what the nine is. Interesting, though, this has to do with some kind of stress. It can mean stress and challenges due to work, and usually that's when it what I'm trying to say pops up. But it could be just stress in this relationship like you're having that's ended. That's what I'm trying to say, because it's opposition with other people. This right here, you see, this would cause the stress. It's the card that kind of says you need to take a break, take a step back. You can look at it as also, if it doesn't pertain to a job, that you're working too hard to filter all this and to process this and to wrap it up. Take a break and embrace your feminine side. Again, this is the card of disappointment and loss. but this is the card of completion. I think this is an indication that that's going to come to an end. Because it is in our line of advice up here. Especially if you embrace this Queen of Hearts energy. I mean, if that isn't clear to you what a Queen of Hearts represents, I mean, Google it and kind of look at the history of the Queen of Hearts and see what pops up. Something might speak to you. If I didn't say it, you know, use your intuition. But I'm going to ask for a couple more cards. Oh, 9 of Hearts. Nice. This is kind of on the other end of the spectrum because this is the wish fulfillment card. This is desires on a very deep level, and I think it's saying that that's what's coming. Yeah, especially if you take the stress off yourself here and realize that this disappointment, this loss is going to come to an end. You might be feeling, Gemini, that it's not. Maybe that's why it's speaking here. This might be speaking to a particular person who's thinking, when is it going to end? Why can't I get this out of my head? I keep ruminating about it, you know, whatever. And this was forced upon you. That's also the card of having things like that are necessary, but they're forced on you. It's like you didn't choose to deal with them, but it is what it is. But it's going to lead to this wish fulfillment. And this is going to... it's also the card of enhanced commitment. But I was going to say, if you're involved with somebody else, it's probably going to improve the relationship you have with them. Especially if you think about the Queen of Hearts. And that is very nice. It's one of my favorite cards. This is the card of a completion, and it just kind of put the icing on the cake for me because this is the card of good news and traveling. Now, traveling can be not just physical, but mental and emotional. Traveling on, moving on. That would certainly be fitting for what's played out here. I think you have a desire to move on from this stress here and this worry about what transpired. Maybe even detach yourself from this, you know, feeling disconnected from somebody. Maybe there's just nothing you can do about that right now. I'm going to end it there, though, because that's the perfect card, actually, to end on, as far as advice goes, that all of this is going to wrap up. I mean, if you had any doubts about that, and sometimes it does feel like we're stuck in something, and it's not moving anywhere, I'm definitely seeing that it is. But you need to kind of put your heart in there. And that's going to help a lot. Very strong message there. Okay, Gemini, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. You'll see my next video, and it will probably be without the sniffles and the hoarse voice. Hopefully. Pretty tired of being sick. This will be a week tomorrow. I've had this going on. I am feeling a lot better, though, than I did a couple days ago, even yesterday. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. Don't forget to give me a like if you like this video, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.